Maligayang pagdating sa Entrepreneurship Self-Learning video, kung saan tinutuklasan natin ang costing and pricing strategies, a comprehensive guide for determining selling prices and maximizing profit in business. Idinisenyo ang video na ito upang mag-alok sa iyo ng mga nakakaengganyo at kapaki-pakinabang na pagkakataon para sa parehong structured at self-driven na pag-aaral, na nagbibigay daan sa iyong matuto sa sarili mong bilis. Magkakaroon ka ng kalayaang isali ang iyong sarili sa nilalamang pang-edukasyon habang aktibong nakikipag-ugnayan dito. Samahan kami sa Teacher Lumaban YouTube channel para sa nakakapanabik na pang-edukasyon na pakikipagsapalaran.
Commit your way to the Lord, trust also in him, and he shall bring it to pass. Psalm 37 verse 5. Learning objectives. After going through this lesson, you are expected to identify the different factors that affect the selling price of a product. Differentiate variable cost from fixed cost. Calculate product cost, unit cost, markup price, and selling price. Let's have a pre-test from this topic. Directions. Read each item carefully. Select the letter of the best answer from the choices given. What is the selling price defined as? A. The sum of production costs and profit margin. B. The cost incurred to produce a product. C. The amount set by the market conditions. D. The total expenses incurred by a business. Which of the following is not a factor affecting price? A. Competition pricing. B. Owner's preferences. C. Market tolerance. D. Historical sales data. What does market tolerance measure? A. Profit margin. B. Acceptable loss within a business. C. Customer preferences. D. Production costs. What are fixed costs in business? A. Costs that vary with the level of production. B. Expenses that do not change with sales or activities. C. Variable expenses like raw materials. D. Costs incurred during marketing campaigns. Which of the following is a variable cost? A. Rent. B. Utilities. C. Raw materials. D. Salary expense. Let's have a recap from the previous topic. Directions: read each item carefully. Select the letter of the best answer from the choices given. Why is sales forecasting considered a critical tool for efficient resource management? A. To optimize operations and manage risks. B. To measure sales volume accurately. C. To calculate key ratios. D. To assess performance. What is the purpose of assessing market conditions in sales forecasting? A. To determine the average amount of each purchase. B. To evaluate the market's current state and anticipate trends. C. To calculate the gross margin. D. To measure the number of yearly purchases. What is the sales volume calculation formula used for? A. To predict the average amount of each purchase. B. To calculate the gross margin. C. To measure the number of yearly purchases. D. To monitor, evaluate, and optimize sales activities. Which formula is used to arrive at the yearly projected sales in the sales volume calculation? A. Number of customers, multiply by, average sales price, multiply by, number of yearly purchases. B. Yearly projected sales, minus, total projected expenses. C. Yearly projected sales, minus, number of yearly purchases. D. Average sales price, multiply by, number of yearly purchases. In expense forecasting, why is it recommended to double estimates for advertising and marketing costs? A. Due to potential escalation. B. Because advertising and marketing are less important. C. To simplify calculations. D. To reduce uncertainty. Let us have a short review. Matching type, directions, match the items in column A with their respective answers in column B. Column A. 1. Forecasting expenses. 2. Forecasting revenues. 3. Key ratios and reality checks. 4. Building growth projections. 5. Sales forecasting. 6. Sales volume calculation formula. Column B. A. Categories of expenses, fixed costs/overhead, variable costs, direct labor costs. B. Different scenarios, conservative case and aggressive case. C. Tools for assessing performance, gross margin, operating profit margin, total headcount per client. D. Steps for measuring sales volume, identify customer base, service area, market conditions, business position, seasonal adjustments. E. Process for creating a roadmap, timeline decision, expense forecasting. F. Formula for projecting sales volume, number of customers x average sales price x number of yearly purchases equals yearly projected sales. Presentation of the lesson.
Ever wonder how businesses determine the price of their products or services? Well, it's not as simple as pulling numbers out of thin air. It involves a process known as cost and pricing strategy, the backbone of any successful business operation. Imagine a company, let's call it Techmasters. They produce innovative gadgets. Techmasters, like any other business, needs to cover its costs and make a profit to survive. But the question is, how do they determine the price of their gadgets? This is where the cost-based pricing strategy comes into play. This strategy involves adding a markup percentage to the total cost of production to determine the selling price. So, if the cost to produce one gadget is $100, and Techmasters decides on a markup of 20%, the selling price of the gadget would be $120. Simple, right? But not all businesses operate this way. Take, for instance, Fashion Forward, a clothing brand that sets its prices based on what its customers are willing to pay. This is known as the value-based pricing strategy. Fashion Forward understands its customers value high-quality, trendy clothing. They're willing to pay a premium for it. So, if a particular dress costs $50 to produce and customers perceive its value to be worth $150, that's the price Fashion Forward will set. Then there's the competitive pricing strategy. Picture Cafe Aroma, a coffee shop located in a bustling city surrounded by dozens of other coffee shops. Cafe Aroma can't set its prices too high or too low compared to its competitors. If they price their coffee too high, customers might choose a cheaper competitor. If they price it too low, they might not cover their costs, or customers might question the quality of their coffee. So they set their prices based on what their competitors are charging. In each of these cases, the businesses are using different strategies to price their products. Techmasters uses cost-based pricing, Fashion Forward employs value-based pricing, and Cafe Aroma utilizes competitive pricing. But it's important to remember no one strategy is superior. The best strategy depends on the business, its goals, its customers, and its competition. So, to summarize, cost-based pricing involves setting the price based on the cost of production plus a markup. Value-based pricing is determined by how much customers perceive the product or service to be worth. And competitive pricing involves setting the price based on what competitors are charging. Understanding these strategies is crucial for any business or aspiring business professional. They provide a roadmap to pricing products or services in a way that covers costs, attracts customers, and ultimately ensures the business's survival and growth. So, next time you're shopping, take a moment to think about the strategy behind the price tag. You might just gain a new appreciation for the complexity of business operations.
What is the purpose of cost and pricing strategy in business operations? How does cost-based pricing work, and why is it important for businesses like Techmasters? Why is competitive pricing crucial for businesses like Cafe Aroma in a competitive market? Let's go to the lesson.
A price refers to the amount of payment or compensation exchanged between two parties for a single unit of goods or services. Ang presyo ay tumutukoy sa halaga ng kabayaran o kabayarang ipinagpalit sa pagitan ng dalawang partido para sa isang unit ng mga produkto o serbisyo. Ang pagpapasya ng isang presyo ay hinuhubog ng mga salik tulad ng mga gasto sa produksyon, ang pagkakaroon ng nais na bagay, at ang pangangailangan para sa produkto. Maaari itong itakda ng isang monopolista o idikta sa isang kumpanya sa pamamagitan ng umiiral ng mga kondisyon sa merkado. Ang kabuuang halaga ng pagbebenta ng isang produkto o serbisyo ay tinutukoy sa pamamagitan ng pagsasama-sama ng presyo ng gastos at ang margin ng tubo na itinatag ng nagbebenta. Ang presyo ng pagbebenta na ito ay kumakatawan sa halaga kung saan binili ng mamimili ang produkto o serbisyo. Sa kabilang banda, ang presyo ng gastos ay ang paggasta na kasangkot sa paggawa ng produkto o paghahatid ng serbisyo sa bumibili. Nakakaimpluwensya sa mga elemento ng pagpepresyo. First, the pricing strategies adopted by competitors for similar goods and services. Ang mga diskarte sa pagpepresyo na pinagtibay ng mga kakumpetensya para sa mga katulad na produkto at serbisyo. Second, anticipated outcomes regarding sales and expenditure. Mga inaasahang resulta tungkol sa mga benta at paggasta. Third, the financial goals or requirements of the business owner. Ang mga layunin o kinakailangan sa pananalapi ng may-ari ng negosyo. Fourth, market tolerance, indicating the extent to which an investor is prepared to withstand losses in their enterprise. Pagpapahintulot sa merkado na nagpapahiwatig ng lawak kung saan ang isang mamumuhunan ay handa na mapaglabanan ang mga pagkalugi sa kanilang negosyo. Fifth, pricing terms from suppliers and associated inventory expenses, with certain suppliers having predetermined pricing for their offerings. In some cases, franchisors may also dictate product prices. Mga tuntunin sa pagpepresyo mula sa mga supplier at nauugnay na mga gasto sa inventaryo na may ilang partikular na supplier na may paunang natukoy na pagpepresyo para sa kanilang mga alok. Sa ilang mga kaso, ang mga franchisor ay maaari ring magdikta ng mga presyo ng produkto. Pag-unawa at pagkalkula ng mga gastos sa negosyo. Ang pundasyon para sa pagtukoy ng mga gastos ay nakasalalay sa kasalukuyang mga presyo na nangangailangan ng mga regular na pagsusuri sa presyo. Dahil dito, isinasaalang-alang ng mga negosyo ang iba't ibang salik kapag kinakalkula ang presyo ng pagbebenta at mga potensyal na kita mula sa kanilang mga produkto. Ang mga salik na ito ay sumasaklaw sa mga nakaperming gastos, variable na gastos, gastos ng produkto, gastos sa unit, presyo ng markup, at panghuling presyo ng pagbebenta. Fixed costs. These kinds of costs are considered as unchanging no matter how much a business increases or decreases its sales. Ang mga ganitong uri ng gastos ay itinuturing na hindi nagbabago gaano man kalaki ang pagtaas o pagbaba ng isang negosyo sa mga benta nito. Ang mga nakapirming gastos ay mga gastos na kailangang bayaran ng isang negosyo kahit na walang mga benta o aktibidad. Examples of fixed costs may include rent, utilities, and salary expense. Variable costs are expenses that fluctuate in direct proportion to the quantity of goods or services a business generates. They exhibit variations based on the determined units to be manufactured within a given time frame. Ito ay mga gastos na nagbabago sa direktang proporsyon sa dami ng mga produkto o serbisyo na nabubuo ng isang negosyo. Nagpapakita sila ng mga pagkakaiba-iba batay sa natukoy ng mga unit na gagawin sa loob ng isang takdang panahon. Instances of variable costs encompass items such as raw materials, direct labor, and delivery charges. Product cost. Production or product costs refer to the costs incurred by a business from manufacturing a product or providing a service. Ang mga gastos sa produksyon o produkto ay tumutukoy sa mga gastos na natamo ng isang negosyo mula sa paggawa ng produkto o pagbibigay ng serbisyo. Ang mga gastos sa produksyon ay maaaring magsama ng iba't ibang gastusin, tulad ng paggawa, hindi na prosesong materyales, consumable manufacturing supply, at pangkalahatang overhead. Ito ang resulta ng pagdaragdag ng mga nakapirming gastos at variable na gastos. Product cost equals fixed costs plus variable costs. Unit cost. This is the product cost relative to the number of units produced. Ito ang halaga ng produkto na nauugnay sa bilang ng mga unit na ginawa. Ang gastos ay maaaring matukoy sa pamamagitan ng paghahati ng mga gastos ng produkto sa mga unit na ginawa. Unit cost equals product cost over units produced. Markup price is the amount of difference between the selling price and unit cost. Oftentimes, this is expressed in percentage. Ito ay ang halaga ng pagkakaiba sa pagitan ng presyo ng pagbebenta at halaga ng unit. Kadalasan, ito ay ipinahayag sa porsyento. Ang markup ay ang halagang idinagdag sa halaga ng unit upang ang negosyo ay magkaroon ng tubo sa katagalan. Ngunit upang makuha ang halagang iyon na idaragdag sa halaga ng unit upang gawing kumikita ang negosyo, sinusunod namin ang formula na ito. Markup price equals unit cost multiplied by desired rate of return. Where unit cost katumbas is the amount obtained by dividing product cost and units produced. Ito ay ang halagang nakuha sa pamamagitan ng paghahati sa gastos ng produkto at mga unit na ginawa. Desired rate of return katumbas a subjective minimum rate percentage of profit that an owner wants to gain from selling the product relative to the risk. Isang subjective na minimum na rate porsyento ng kita na gustong makuha ng isang may-ari mula sa pagbebenta ng produkto na may kaugnayan sa panganib. Selling price. This is the amount that the business should sell its product. Ito ang halaga na dapat ibenta ng negosyo ang produkto nito. Makukuha ito sa pamamagitan ng pagdaragdag ng unit cost ng item at markup price nito. Selling price equal unit cost plus markup price over number of yield.
How do competitor pricing strategies impact a business's pricing decisions? What role do financial goals play in determining the selling price of a product or service? How does market tolerance impact a business's pricing strategy, and why is it essential to consider? Why is it important for businesses to calculate both fixed and variable costs when determining product costs? How does the desired rate of return influence the markup price in a business's pricing formula? Product cost equals fixed costs plus variable costs. Unit cost equals product cost over units produced. Markup price equals unit cost multiplied by desired rate of return. Selling price equals unit cost plus markup price over number of yield. Let's take a look at the example. Kyle is planning to produce cassava cake that will be sold to various consumers. Below is the recipe for Kyle's cassava cake producing 18 slices, 3 pieces of 8 inches by 8 inches trays. Ingredients: 1 kilo grated cassava, 2 cups coconut milk, 1 can evaporated milk, 3 pieces egg, 1/4 cup butter melted. Toppings: 2 tablespoons flour, 2 tablespoons sugar, 1/2 cup condensed milk, 2 tablespoons cheddar cheese grated, 2 cups coconut milk. Given the recipe from the previous slide, the table below shows the prices of each raw material. Ingredients: cassava, the price is 40 pesos per kilogram. Ingredients: coconut milk, the price is 10 pesos per cup. Ingredients: evaporated milk, the price is 28 pesos per can. Ingredients: egg, the price is 8 pesos per piece. Ingredients: butter, the price is 40 pesos per cup. Toppings: flour, the price is 40 pesos per kilogram. Toppings: sugar, the price is 58 pesos per kilogram. Toppings: condensed milk, the price is 38 pesos per can. Toppings: cheddar cheese, the price is 45 pesos per cup. In addition to these raw material prices, the LPG cost of making cassava cake is at 8 pesos and 1 peso per gallon of water, while Kyle charges 50 pesos as labor cost. Given the prices from the previous slide, compute for the raw material costs relative to the recipe. Important conversions. 1 kilo flour is equals to 16 tablespoon is equals 7 cups. 1 kilo white sugar is equals 4 cups. 1 bar butter or cheese is equals 1 cup. 1 kilo of coconut milk is equals 4 cups. 1 stick is equals 8 tablespoon is equals 1/2 cup. Solve for the selling price of the cassava cake. Ingredients: 1 kilo of cassava is 40 per kilo, 40 pesos. Ingredients: 2 cups of coconut milk is 10 per cup, 20 pesos. Ingredients: 1 can of evaporated milk is 28 per can, 28 pesos. Ingredients: 3 pieces of egg is 8 per piece, 24 pesos. Ingredients: 1/4 cup of butter is 40 per bar, 10 pesos. Topping: 2 tablespoon flour is 40 per kilo, 5 pesos. Topping: 2 tablespoon sugar is 58 per kilo, 7.25 pesos. Topping: 1/2 cup condensed milk is 38 per can, 19 pesos. Topping: 2 tablespoon cheddar cheese is 45 per bar, 5.63 pesos. Topping: 2 cups coconut milk is 10 per cup, 20 pesos. Total raw materials 178.88 peso. Labor costs 50 peso. Add the labor cost to the total raw material to get the variable cost. 288.88 pesos, variable cost, is equals to 178.88 pesos raw material, plus 50 pesos labor cost. Compute for the fixed cost. Water, 1 peso per gallon, 1 peso. LPG, 8 pesos. Total fixed cost, 9 pesos. Get the sum of variable and fixed cost to get the product cost, then divide the product cost to the number of products produced to get the unit cost. Product cost equals variable cost plus fixed cost. 237.88 pesos for 18 slices equals 228.88 plus 9. Unit cost equals product cost slash product produced. 13.22 pesos per slice equals 237.88 pesos over 18 slices. Multiple the unit cost to the desired rate of return to get your markup. Markup equals to unit cost multiply by desired rate of return. 9.91 equals to 13.22 per slice multiply by 75%. Kyle decided to have a 75% increase since the product is easy to sell. Add the unit cost and markup to get the selling price. Selling price equals to unit cost plus markup. 23.13 peso or 24.00 pesos per slice, equals to 13.22, plus 9.91. The cassava cake is priced at 24 pesos per slice, resulting in a total of 432 pesos for 18 slices. Subtracting the product cost of 237.88 pesos from the total revenue yields a profit of 194.12 pesos. This profit represents a 45% margin relative to the cost. Analyzing costs is crucial for understanding how competitors price their products in comparison to industry standards. It also enables identification of the specific costs associated with each product, helping to determine optimal cost reduction strategies. Additionally, cost analysis guides effective pricing strategies, providing a clear overview of potential earnings per product to achieve targeted profits. Profit serves as the lifeblood of any business. Let's do something fun or engaging. True or false? Answer true if the statement is correct and answer false if the statement is incorrect. 1. If the supplier raises prices, the selling price will drop. 2. Predict potential sales and costs. 3. If you don't succeed, it's advisable to cease. 4. Understand how your competitors set prices for their products. 5. Ensure that the markup for the product is reasonable. Identify, given the different expenses, classify each item if it is a fixed cost or variable cost. Rent. Electric bill. Salary of the office employees. Packaging materials. Water bill. Raw meat. Delivery charge. Internet bill. Egg. Vegetables. As a student, understanding the lesson can have practical applications in various aspects of daily living. As a student, how can you use pricing strategies to maximize value when purchasing textbooks or study materials on a limited budget? How can a student manage fixed expenses in personal budgeting to ensure financial stability during their academic journey? In daily decision-making as a student, how can understanding variable costs help you maintain a balanced budget, especially with fluctuating expenses like groceries or utility bills? For a student managing projects or extracurricular activities, how can the concept of unit cost be used to estimate overall expenses and make informed decisions about resource allocation? Applying markup price to personal financial goals as a student, how can you determine an appropriate profit margin or savings target when budgeting for future expenses? Wrap up, answer the 3-2-1 and record your responses on the provided template. List down 3 things that you learned from the lesson. List 2 controversial ideas, things you disagree with or confuse, from the lesson. List 1 question you have in your mind regarding the lesson. Let's have a post-test. Directions: read each item carefully. Select the letter of the best answer from the choices given. How is product cost calculated? A. Fixed costs, variable costs. B. Variable costs plus unit costs. C. Fixed costs plus variable costs. D. Unit costs, fixed costs. What does unit cost represent? A. Total cost of production. B. Product cost per unit. C. Variable cost per unit. D. Fixed cost per unit. How is unit cost calculated? A. Product cost x units produced. B. Units produced / product cost. C. Product cost, units produced. D. Product cost / units produced. What is markup price expressed as? A. A percentage. B. A fixed amount. C. Variable cost. D. Unit cost. How is markup price calculated? A. Unit cost, desired rate of return. B. Desired rate of return / unit cost. C. Unit cost x desired rate of return. D. Desired rate of return plus unit cost. What is the formula for selling price? A. Unit cost plus markup price. B. Markup price / number of yield. C. Unit cost, markup price. D. Markup price plus number of yield. When should a business do a price check according to the passage? A. Only during product launches. B. From time to time. C. Annually. D. After significant changes in the market. Which of the following is a production cost? A. Marketing expenses. B. Raw materials. C. Administrative salaries. D. Customer service costs. What does market tolerance measure in the context of pricing? A. How much profit a business wants to make. B. How much loss an investor is willing to endure. C. The demand for a product in the market. D. The competition's pricing strategy. What is the primary purpose of adding a markup to the unit cost? A. To cover fixed costs. B. To increase production volume. C. To lower the selling price. D. To ensure a profit for the business. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Philippians 4 verse 13. Thank you. And God bless you always.
Sana ay nasiyahan kayo at may natutunan kayong bago sa aming paksa sa entrepreneurship self-learning video. Kung may natutunan ka sa video na ito, mangyaring bigyan ang video na ito ng thumbs up. Huwag kalimutang ibahagi ang video na ito sa iyong mga kaibigan. Kung mayroon kang mga komento, tanong, o mungkahi, maaari kang mag-iwan ng mensahe sa seksyon ng komento sa ibaba. Maraming salamat sa panunood ng aking mga video. Sana magkita ulit tayo sa susunod kong video, and God bless you always. Ito ay ang Teacher Lumaban YouTube channel.